Okay, so let's get right into it. Microsoft is pouring hundreds of billions of dollars into AI, but their entire strategy, everything Satya Nadella is doing, really just boils down to one massive, high-stakes debate about the future of tech. And we're going to break that down right now. To really get a feel for the scale we're talking about, just listen to this. On a recent tour of Microsoft's newest AI data center, they said that the networking equipment in just one new building is worth almost as much as their entire global cloud, all of Azure, from just a couple of years back. Think about that. This isn't just an investment. It's an industrial revolution happening in real time. And this number right here, it perfectly illustrates their ambition. Microsoft's goal is to increase their AI training capacity 10 times over every 18 to 24 months. That's not just growth. That is relentless exponential scaling that they believe is what it takes to win. Which brings us right to the heart of the matter. With all this mind-blowing money being spent, where does the value, the profit, actually end up? Does it all get captured by the AI models themselves? The brains of the operation? Or does it go to the huge infrastructure, the scaffolding that everything runs on? So let's look at the first side of this argument, the case for the model. This is the idea that these incredibly powerful AI models, the ones from places like OpenAI and Anthropic, are becoming the single most valuable piece of intellectual property on Earth. They are the new center of the tech universe. And this creates a really interesting tension. You've got the model companies on one side creating brand new IP, the AI brain, and just growing like crazy. And on the other side, you've got the scaffolding companies like Microsoft. They have the existing distribution, huge user bases, and all the tools that surround that brain. The big threat for them is that the models get so good, they make all those tools feel like a cheap commodity. And listen, this is not just some theory. Just look at what happened in the market for AI coding assistants. In 1 year, the market just exploded, from about $500 million to nearly $6 billion. But in that same year, Microsoft's GitHub Copilot went from owning pretty much the entire market, almost 100%, down to less than 25%, all because new, super powerful models jumped into the game. And this is really the endgame for the model-first world. The theory goes that as these AI models get more and more powerful, they'll become autonomous agents. They'll be able to just use software the same way a person does. And if an AI can just teach itself to use Excel, does all that deep integration Microsoft has been building for decades even matter anymore? So what's Microsoft's comeback to that? Well, that brings us to the other side of the coin, the case for the scaffolding. The argument here is that as AI models get more common and more competitive, the real defensible value isn't going to be in any single model, but in the integrated infrastructure built all around them. And Nadella himself puts it perfectly. He argues that if you control the scaffolding, the apps, the platforms where users actually are, you gain what he calls liquidity of the data. All that data acts like a magnet, a gravitational force that lets you train models so effectively that you can turn the models themselves into the commodity. So what is this scaffolding we keep talking about? Well, it's pretty much the entire Microsoft ecosystem. It's Office, where we all do our work. It's GitHub, where all the world's code is being built. And it's Azure, the massive cloud infrastructure that powers everything. It is the world of tools and data that AI needs to actually be useful. And this Excel agent concept shows you the advantage perfectly. Instead of an AI just kind of looking at your screen and guessing where to click, Microsoft is building an agent that has a backstage pass. It has deep native access to all of Excel's formulas and data. It's not just using the tool, it kind of is the tool, which makes it way more powerful and efficient than any outside AI could ever hope to be. So which side is Microsoft actually betting on? The model or the scaffolding? And the answer is yes. They aren't choosing a side. They are going all in on a strategy to build a lasting empire across every single layer of the AI economy. And their strategy really comes down to these 4 pillars. Number 1, be the landlord for everybody with Azure. 2, use their exclusive partnership with OpenAI to its full advantage. 3, build their own world-class models, just in case. And 4, turn all their existing software like Office and GitHub into that critical scaffolding. They're playing every position on the field at the same time. To really understand why this is so important, you've got to remember the old world. In the software as a service model, adding another user to Office 365 cost basically nothing. It was a beautiful business with predictable, super high margins. But AI completely flips the script. Now, every single query, every single thing a user asks the AI to do has a real, measurable cost in computing power. The cost of goods sold is no longer zero. And that just totally upends the business model that software has run on for decades, making control over the full stack absolutely essential to make a profit. And here, right here, is maybe the ultimate expression of this scaffolding strategy. Microsoft is building something called Agent HQ on GitHub. Just imagine being a developer with a single dashboard where you can unleash a whole team of AIs, from OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, whoever, on one single coding problem. In that world, it doesn't matter which AI model is the best. Microsoft wins either way. What this all points to is a fundamental shift in who Microsoft's customer even is. Nadella believes their future isn't just about selling tools to people anymore. It's about providing the core infrastructure, the computing, the storage, the identity systems for millions and millions of autonomous AI agents. The number of users they can have is about to explode. But this competition isn't just between companies. As you zoom out, you start to see that this whole technology race is also a global geopolitical game, and it has huge consequences for every single nation on the planet. You can really see the shift on this timeline. We went from the 90s, where US tech was just completely dominant, to today, where it's more of a two-player game between the US and China. But the next stage? That's a multipolar world, where every major nation is demanding its own sovereign AI. And when countries talk about sovereign AI, this is what they want. They want guarantees that their nation's data stays inside their borders. They want privacy protections, they want control over their local infrastructure, and they want the ability to be resilient, to not be dependent on a single foreign power. These political demands are becoming just as important as the technology itself. Which leads us to our final and maybe most provocative question. In this new global game, where technology, business, and national interests are all tangled together, what is the single most powerful competitive advantage you can have? And here's Nadella's answer. He believes that, in the end, the ultimate winner might not be the company with the smartest model. It might all come down to one simple thing. Can I trust you? Can a country trust your company? And can they trust your country's institutions? That, he argues, might just be the thing that wins the world.